Hi, and thanks for checking in with MeetYourSweet.com. Have you ever noticed that some guys have a habit of testing women even when they're interested? And have you ever wondered why that is? It's actually not such an uncommon thing, although it's definitely only cropped up in a major way in the last couple of years. Think about it this way. It used to be absolutely the norm, even the rule, for the guys to pursue women. They'd do all the work, buy you flowers, take you out to dinner, and to cap it off, they'd maybe even give you a little gift, some chocolates or something, just to make sure their intentions were absolutely clear. The point is that not so long ago, if a man liked a woman, he would absolutely assume the role of the pursuer, no questions asked. This isn't really the case anymore. Fast forward to now, and what have you got? An entire culture's worth of men who are being trained by dating and seduction gurus to not kiss ass to women, to consider a dinner date as a quote-unquote exclusive reward of a woman who is already sleeping with him, to relate to women by teasing us, giving us a hard time, and busting our balls, and more than anything else, to expect us to chase them. Men testing women for their levels of interest and waiting for us to pursue them is actually becoming more and more common. If you find yourself in that situation, there's no rule for how you should or should not behave. The only thing that really determines how you react to a classic testing situation, like the one where a guy seems interested but then backs off slightly to see whether you'll pursue him or not, is whether or not you want to be with someone who's intent on making you chase him. In my opinion, the whole notion of chasing is a little old-fashioned. Real quality relationships are more about give and take. That's why it's so hard to create rules that are actually going to be applicable to most dating situations. Because the truth of the matter is, there are so many different levels of complexity that any one rule will almost certainly not be applicable to all situations. You've really got to use your common sense and treat each guy on a case-by-case basis. However, here's a little rule of thumb that might come in handy. Taking the average case as an example, meaning a guy shown definite interest in you starts suggesting things but then backs right off short of actually making a date. Here's a good way of looking at it. The way you react to this sort of situation now is going to set the tone for the rest of the relationship. If you fall into a pattern of compliance with his little tests, then you're setting a pattern for inequality. And in my opinion, that raises a red flag. When a guy tests you, he's testing your levels of interest. He wants to know if you're keen enough to pursue him. And whether you are or not really isn't the point, because what it really boils down to is the fact that, for whatever reason, he's not interested enough in you to do the basic courtesy of asking you out, period. Now, this might sound a little black and white to you, but bear with me here. If a guy is really interested in you, as in he really likes you and is genuinely interested in getting to know you, then he will do what it takes to let you know that. If he's testing you and wanting to be chased, sure, he might be interested, but he's more interested in seeing how much of an ego boost you can give him. Now, of course, I'm all for the male sexual revolution that's occurring these days, and I think it's great that there are some new dating techniques and ideas circulating around out there. But at the same time, helping a guy to ask you out is the cause of a lot of lukewarm relationships, the kind where a woman's always feeling a little insecure, where no precedent has been set for real attraction, and where there's a definite lack of real passion for one another. Here's the bottom line. He may be interested enough to flirt with you, but if he's not interested enough to actually take the plunge and stop playing around with those little ego games, like seeing whether you'll chase him or not, then he's just not that interested. Full stop. Some women reason that chasing a guy is okay because they've been told that they're intimidating. And yes, it's true that some guys are intimidated by extremely beautiful or outgoing women, but unless you're the physical equivalent of Angelina Jolie, then this is hardly likely to be an issue for you. And even if it was an issue, would you really be interested in dating a guy who's so anxious that he needs help just to get to know you better? If you're really interested in creating a great relationship for yourself with a guy who's your emotional and psychological equal, then I suggest that you start paying attention to the way men act rather than how they're talking. A guy can talk up a storm telling you how cute you are and how he'd love to take you out sometime, but if he's not putting his money where his mouth is, then he's just not that interested. And of course, smart, beautiful women like yourself don't waste their time dating men who are unsure of how interested they are in you. For more great tips on dating and relationships, please feel free to check out the website. And thanks for checking in.